You guys ready? Okay, it is 7:50 and we are back in open session. So we will continue with our action items. So the first one is the superintendent contract.
I make a motion that the superintendent contract be approved as presented.
Support.
Okay. I have a motion and a support. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Van Wagner?
Aye.
Mrs. McKenna? Aye. Mrs. LeBar?
Aye.
Mr. Lipka?
Aye.
Dr. Novak?
No.
Mrs. Putnam says aye. Motion carries. Okay. Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources contract.
I make a motion that the assistant superintendent for human resources contract be approved as presented.
Support.
Okay. I have a motion and a support. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Van Wagner.
Aye.
Mrs. McKenna.
Aye.
Mrs. LeBar.
Aye.
Mr. Lipka.
Aye.
Dr. Novak.
No.
Mrs. Putnam says aye. Motion carries. Okay. Assistant Superintendent for Business contract.
I make a motion that the assistant superintendent for business contract be approved as presented.
Support.
Okay. I have a motion and a support. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Mr. Van Wagner.
Aye.
Mrs. McKenna.
Aye.
Mrs. LeBar.
Aye.
Mr. Lipka.
Aye.
Dr. Novak.
No.
Mrs. Putnam says aye. Motion carries. Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction contract.
I make a motion that the assistant superintendent for curriculum and instruction contract be approved as presented.
Support.
Okay. We have a motion and a support. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Mr. Van Wagner.
Aye.
Mrs. McKenna.
Aye.
Mrs. LeBar.
Aye.
Mr. Lipka.
Aye.
Dr. Novak.
No.
Mrs. Putnam says aye. Motion carries. Okay, and then we have, I think the last action item is the 2025-2027 Mechanics Master Agreement.
Make a motion that the mechanics, LMA, master's agreement be approved as presented.
Support.
Okay, I have a motion and a support. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Van Wagner.
Aye.
Mrs. McKenna.
Aye.
Mrs. LeBar.
Aye.
Mr. Lipka.
Aye.
Dr. Novak.
Yeah.
Mrs. Putnam says aye. Motion carries. Okay, that concludes our open actions for this evening. We will head into board member communications. Any topics from anyone tonight?
I'd like to share just how wonderful it was with all of the graduation ceremonies that were conducted this month. All of them were a lot of fun, and it was just great to see the kids celebrate, decorating their mortarboards, throwing them in the air, and just it was such a smooth operation this year. I think for the high school one, and all of them were smooth. I just know that I was very, very happy with the way that it all went at Dork Federal. It was phenomenal. It was a very meaningful ceremony. I think the kids held that there were no flips this year, so that was always good. No backflips. No backflips.
No air horns.
There were no
Yeah.
air horns.
I think the first, maybe
First one I've ever been to.
Flips right
Road
there.
classes.
it's a new day.
Now we jinx ourselves.
It's a
We're
new
not
day.
sure, by the way,
But it was wonderful, and
That kind of process.
I think the kids, I had a lot of people come up to me afterwards and just express what a wonderful event it was and how much they enjoyed it. And I know I speak for Nikki and myself that having our own seniors in the audience graduating and being able to share in that celebration, and I'm very grateful for Michelle for capturing such a wonderful photo of myself hugging my son, and it was awesome. So thank you everyone for making it just a wonderful event for all of our kids.
And I'm just gonna ditto that because it was a great experience.
You know, I would like to add to that too. When I ran, I never even
about participating in the graduation ceremonies. It never once even crossed my mind.
It's truly, it's like the best part,
It,
one of the best.
what I was so impressed with were the number of students that when they received their diplomas, they squared up to you, looked you straight in the eye to shake your hand. And I haven't seen that in a long time. You know, I hire a lot of young people in the business, sometimes as many as 30 to 40 in a year, so it's quite a few. And this group of kids coming up, I see as being kind of special. Coming back to those foundational things of how we live in community together, and it makes it exciting to see the future.
I agree with that. Yeah, well said. Anything else for everyone else? Okay, I'll turn it over to you, Superintendent Wanda, for your comments.
Thank you, Madam President. I once heard it described that graduation ceremony is a board member's payment. So, you're welcome. A lot going on this summer, obviously, with construction, things are progressing, and just want to pay notice to the community that, please visit the website to check on office hours, when buildings are open, when they're not. There's some of our main offices have been moved to other locations to accommodate construction schedules, so just a notice to our parents and visitors to the buildings that there's been some adjusted schedules, so please pay particularly close attention to that. And again, I want to thank the board for approval of superintendent and assistant superintendent contracts and our most recent unit contract with our LMA. Appreciate the board's review and time spent in analyzing those contracts and all of the specifics. There's a lot of reading and a lot of analysis. We appreciate that. I can speak on behalf of the assistant superintendents whose contracts were approved this evening. We serve at the pleasure of the board and our community, and we're very blessed to be given your trust to do so for at least another year. That's all we can hope for. All right. With that, I yield back the balance of my time, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Wanda.
Motion to adjourn. Support.
Okay, Mr. Van Ryder,
Aye.
Mr. McKenna,
Aye.
Mrs. LeVar,
Aye.
Mr. Lipton,
Aye.
Dr. Novak,
Aye.
Mrs. Cummings says aye. Meeting adjourned.
Let's go use our discount cards.
There you go.